Let's move on to a Big Ten matchup. Want to talk about this game a lot. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, number 3 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. Great start to their season. We were on them at minus 26. At number 18th ranked Penn State. Nittany Lions with a rough opener. Ohio State opened up with 491 yards of offense, 52-17 home win over Nebraska, and took complete control in the second half of that game. Penn State coming off the shocking 36-35 loss to Indiana. They put up 488 yards of offense, allowed only 211, and lose 36-35. Connor Mack, you've got an angle on this spot. Let's just take a look. Ohio State opening up at minus 12 at Bet365. They're now at 13. There are 13 and a halves on the board, and this total at 63 and a half. C-Mac, take it away.
Yeah, I think this one points will be scored here. The total's already dropped from 68 to 60. What's it right now? 60.
It's at 63 and a half.
Yeah, I think it might go down a little more. I think Ohio State gets theirs, and I think Penn State scores here as well. Clifford, I have a lean. I want 14. It's right now. I can't get it. I think Penn State's a little light. I mean, I like them plus the points, and I'd lean the over. I think Clifford and them score. Ohio State's still an experience, like we talked about, defensively. Obviously, on offense, I think they get theirs. Fields look good. They put up 50. They got that late touchdown for the cover and the over. Oh, I think they already covered with the over. So these are my leans right now. I want to. I don't know if I'm going to get it. I like Penn State if I can get over 2 touchdowns, and I lean to the over as well in this spot. I think Penn State plays better. I think Franklin has them better. I don't know if they win outright. I'm not calling that, but points will be scored, and I got to take the double-digit dog here at home, but I want to get 14.
C-Mac wanting 14 for Penn State. John Ryan, what do you think of C-Mac holding out for that 14 on Penn State?
I definitely would do that. I think the public is going to come in on Ohio State because they don't have the time to dig into the stats like we do. You get done your week of work on Friday night and you just look at what can I bet on tonight, and that's fun. Yeah, it's fine. But I think that the point is that Penn State, despite the miscues and things that are correctable, and things that James Franklin can correct in a week, is giving value here to Penn State. You have one team looking like unbeatable. You have another team that couldn't beat Indiana. So in that case, it comes down to I'm going to have a lean towards Penn State. I can tell you flat out, based on the numbers, probably later this week, it will be a full-blown bet on them, and I'll go to the window. What's missing here is that it's in Happy Valley. And for those that don't know, it's 111,000 people, and this is a night game, emphasizing the word night game. Now, I'm not kidding when I say this, there's over 400 acres of tailgating going on starting in the morning, and it is Happy Valley. There's no, disruptions. There's nobody, beating up an opposing fan. It's none of that. It's like everybody gets along and has a great time. But then when it gets into the stadium, you can't even hear yourself think, let alone somebody trying to talk to you that's sitting next to you. And that's where these teams that are on the road at these humongous stadiums, Tennessee comes out as another big one. Of course, Michigan, Ohio State. They have such an advantage with no crowd noise. It gets at the student end of stadiums like LSU, Penn State. We know the stadiums. It gets so loud that you cannot change the play at the line of scrimmage, and you have to go with a silent count. So that's a concern here for this week because Ohio State's offense is obviously elite, one of the best in the country, and not having to put up with that noise that the Penn State crowd always likes to bring, it's a little scary. But for now, I'll lean Penn State, and we'll leave it at that.
Noli knows up next. We hear C-Mac waiting for the 14 for Penn State. John Ryan leaning Penn State. Noli knows is there a move here for you?
I mean, I think this game's a bit interesting when you look at the total. I mean, C-Mac talked about it dropping a little bit, and that's more so what's happened over the last 2 years. Both games staying under the total and by quite a bit. You got a 28-17 total last year. But I think a lot of that, you see 3 turnovers from Ohio State, 3 fumbles. I think that's what ultimately kept Penn State in the game last year. And I mean, here at Ohio State, they look really good. I mean, Fields comes out, they're firing on all cylinders. Being game 1, it's a bit of a surprise that they were able to do that. And Penn State, I think they play a little bit better than the final score indicated. I mentioned only 41 yards rushing against, 170 through the air. Their defense is significantly better than what you might have saw. And then Ohio State giving up 210 yards rushing is a spot that they need to answer. Those are the question marks up front for them. And so there's a lot of question marks for me. That's ultimately what I see here. So that's what's keeping me off the game. I would lean towards the under in this game, actually, but I'll stay off.
Only leaning towards the under.